Welcome to Ode to Games. My name's Logan Plant, joined today by Kevin Valine. Hello, Kevin.
How you doing, Logan?
I'm doing well, but you had an eventful week, Kev.
I did. So, if you've been listening to the show at all in the past, basically year, I've been trying to get a PS5. Most of the sales of the PS5 in Japan are on the lottery, and after 10 months and 14 lottery
Oh my
entrances,
gosh.
I finally got one. Legitimately, I didn't have to pay a
Congratulations.
Yay.
scalper or anything. Picked it up last Sunday.
The disc
And
edition.
the disc edition, yes. Whenever the digital edition came in, did not even care. It's like I don't need that in my life. I just want the disc edition. But it is here. I've played it a lot in the past week, and it's a good time. I'm enjoying it.
Great. We're going to talk more about your PS5 impressions a little later in the show. Zach, also a PS5 owner, is here. Hello, Zach Rost.
I was really expecting to be the last one to pick one up, so I'm glad that wasn't the case.
I was too. I didn't
Yeah.
expect it to take this long.
It's exciting that we're all here now. Can all talk about the big PS5 exclusives. Kevin is playing Horizon Forbidden West, and he also played Astro's Playroom. So excited to hear what he thinks now that he has a PlayStation 5. But first, we're going to get into the news. Some Switch news. Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak had a big digital event earlier this week. We got a release date. It's coming out on June 30th, 2022 on Switch and PC. So simultaneous release now that it's out on PC. That happened earlier this year. It's going to cost $39.99 with a deluxe edition of $49.99. There's also a collector's edition for $100 that comes with a steelbook and the amiibo and a bunch of digital goodies, which is tempting, but can't do it. Can't do it. They also showed off some new monsters. We got the three monsters were really shown off in this trailer. Garen Golem, who's a super cool, like, Frankenstein monkey. Luna Garen, who we saw in one of the earlier trailers. Malzeno is the Elder Dragon. That's the cover monster that we've seen before. And Astalos, who is a lightning based. Zach, are they an Elder Dragon? This is a returning monster, but are they an Elder Dragon? Do you know?
I don't think they're an Elder Dragon because I think they're grouped in with it's like a group of 4 from Generations on 3DS and Glavenus, Mizutsune, none of them are Elder Dragons. So I don't think Astalos is an Elder Dragon, but definitely a dragon. So
Really cool looking,
yeah,
too.
definitely very cool.
Yeah, and they also announced this is all just extremely similar to the format they did for Iceborne. They announced that this new armor sets and defender weapon sets are joining Rise, so you can plow through the base game faster if you want to get to Sunbreak, if you want to get to the new content. But yeah, the new monsters look really great. There's one new area that's kind of similar to Iceborne's The Guiding Lands, where it's a bunch of different kind of biomes in one area. It's called, I believe, the Citadel, and
Yes.
it looks amazing. It has this giant, like, ruined castle in the middle. Some serious Elden Ring vibes from this expansion,
Yeah,
which is
exactly.
what Zach and I have been playing. But looks super cool. Excited for June 30th. Zach, what'd you think of this?
Yeah, I'm also very excited. I'm glad we finally got a release date. It's coming out on a Thursday, which is a little weird. We're probably
Yeah.
going to play it on Friday, so it's going to be hard to wait a day. But I am tempted because I do want the amiibo. I might just pick up the Steelbook and the amiibo for the $100
Yeah.
total. I don't know if that's saving any money. I don't think it is based on the standard price of amiibo. And I
Yeah, it's
really don't
paying
care
like
about
25 extra bucks than you should be. Yeah. Because it's
that's
also Rise on the cart. It's like a physical of
oh.
Rise and Sunbreak.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't own a physical Rise. I bought it digitally, so maybe I'll still splurge. I don't know, depending. But yeah, it looks definitely very good. I like Elgato. It showed off a lot of the NPCs going around Elgato, like the new handler,
Yeah.
which is like a child, and the blacksmith and like the general, who I think looks super cool. So definitely very excited. And a new subspecies of one of the monsters introduced in Rise. One of my favorite monsters, the Bishaten. It's
Oh,
getting a
yeah.
new one, the blood orange Bishaten. Ah, that looks so good.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
throwing like
Uh,
steaming fruit at you. It's like
they're
looks acidic
exploding
and
pine cones, is
yeah.
what
Why
they
does it have
are.
fruit? Why isn't
I
it
don't, because
like
it's a
blood oranges?
subspecies. Yeah. Well, I don't
That's
know.
that's weird. I guess my only concern here is that they didn't really talk about any of the difficulty or any of the actual gameplay. It was more like, here's the monster designs, here's the hub,
Yeah.
here's a few other things like the new area. But
Couple
there
mechanics.
are going to be more events and more information before it comes out. But Rise was just so easy, and as we've talked about, didn't have the hooks to keep us as long as World did. And I'm really hoping Sunbreak changes that for Rise, and I think it could because Iceborne was a huge improvement on base world. So I definitely think it'll be an improvement, but I would have liked to see a little bit more gameplay specifics on how Master Rank is going to work. And another thing I wish I'd seen is Rise had the village quests and the hub quests, and the village quests were single player only, and it was a lot of the story content was locked behind those. And I'm wondering if Sunbreak is going to have that same thing too, because that would be really disappointing if we've already been playing multiplayer for like the last 50 hours of this thing, and now it's like, okay, back to the village quests for the start of Sunbreak would be really disappointing.
Yeah, and the sad part is I can kind of see it going in that direction. Like there's still going to be the single player quests, and then of course the multiplayer quests on the side that we can do. So
Yeah.
hopefully they lean away from forcing us to do single player to get through the story.
Yeah, Kev, anything you saw in this event that caught your eye?
I didn't actually see it.
Yeah.
I haven't
It's not
played Monster
surprising.
Hunter in
Yeah.
quite a while, so it wasn't super on my radar. I knew you guys were going to be all over it, so we get all the analysis from you guys.
Yeah, looks cool. You should check out that monkey monster because he looks really, really cool. He's super cool design. But that's Monster Hunter Rise, June 30th. Man, this year is just nonstop. It is just not slowing down. But super excited, interested to hear more about what Master Rank will entail. I mentioned Elden Ring. Zach and I are fully in. We played on the phone together for 3.5 hours yesterday, and to me it felt like 20 minutes. Like it passed like it was nothing. And a lot of other people feel that way too. This game has sold 12 million copies, and it's been out for less than a month. It came out February 25th, and Bandai Namco and FromSoft have announced that it's already sold 12 million worldwide, 1 million in Japan as of March 14th, 2022. This is packaged and digital. And this is a new IP. I know that it's like FromSoft games, people view them as a series, but technically this is a new series. So those are just bonkers numbers. And this FromSoft games have really gone mainstream now. I feel like they really started as these niche things that only their fans were into, but 12 million in 3 weeks is just absolutely huge, Kev.
Yeah, I saw somewhere where it took until Dark Souls 3 for the entire series to reach that number, and Elden Ring did it in, what, 3 weeks? That's crazy.
Yeah.
And it shows, the widespread appeal of it. I think that they've done a good job of appealing to a wider group of people while still delivering an experience that the hardcore fans will have a good time with.
Yeah, just the open world games just also tend to sell better than other games.
Yeah,
Like we saw that with Breath of the Wild 2. It smashed the record for the highest selling Zelda game pretty quickly. So I think that, people are just hungry for open world games. And it's a great one, as we're going to talk about a little later in the show. Man, it's a slow news week. I feel like news is usually like 40 minutes. This is our last story already.
Not a lot.
Hey, we can we have not done a rumor roundup in a while, so I think we got a lot to cover there. So we'll pick up the slack later on.
Yeah, we have a good rumor. Good rumor coming up. EA Play Live has been canceled for 2022. This is EA's event that always happens like that Friday or Saturday before E3. Back when it was in person, it was always like across the street from the LA Convention Center. So it's pretty much a part of E3. But EA has said that they're going to show off titles when they're ready and not show everything on one day. We've seen this with the Dead Space events they've been doing for the Dead Space remake. And then you have events like Star Wars Celebration coming up, where I imagine we'll see Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order 2. And then the sports games just come out like clockwork every year. It doesn't really matter. So this isn't really huge, I think, in terms of EA games, but I think just in terms of what it could mean for the rest of the summer showcases, we still don't really know how that's all going to shake out, and we're about 3 months away from that.
Yeah, it depends on if other companies will follow this lead. If they're like, maybe we don't have a bunch of stuff to show on one day, and it'd be better for us to kind of space it out and show off things when they're ready. Whereas some other companies, Microsoft and Sony and Nintendo will probably have enough to fill that whole slate of some sort of presentation. But I think for some of the smaller guys, like in EA or a Ubisoft or like a Square Enix or something, I could see them either pivoting to like a Microsoft or Sony, or kind of spreading out their announcements a little bit if they don't feel like they have to put something together for it. And an E3 thing that's not going to happen.
Yeah, and like based on last year, Square Enix sure as heck did not need a big event. And we just saw them announce 2 big games in the State of Play last week for them. remember what the Diefield Chronicle and
Yep.
Valkyrie Profile. No?
No,
They got
Valkyrie
some
Profile's
names.
the original,
There's-
right?
Oh, dang
It's
it.
a new
some
one.
names.
Valkyrie. I
don't
forgot.
remember what it's called.
Yep, me neither.
It's a Square Enix name though. But yeah, and I imagine if we have a big PS5 showcase in like May, like I think we did in years past, that could be like Final Fantasy 16, maybe Remake Part 2. I feel like we expect those games at every
Yeah,
Nintendo
I'm
show.
sick of expecting those games to show up at something. Yeah.
Yeah, but more than anything, I just hope we still do get the Xbox and Nintendo event in June, because Sony hasn't even been doing them the last year. So I hope that we just get those two, because they've been pretty good. And Xbox, especially after a strong year last year, man, there's a bunch of bad stuff coming out about what's going on at the studio working on Perfect Dark. The Perfect Dark
Yeah,
remake.
that
Seems like there's
not
just
looking
an
good.
exodus of talent. So there's like not really anything first party on the books for Xbox really the rest of this year. So I'm not really sure what's going on over there. So I would like a big event from them. They do have Starfield coming up, but I'd like a big event from them to just get an update on some of these titles.
Didn't they have an indie presentation the other day?
They did. There was that that wrestling JRPG. Did you guys see that?
No.
It's really cool. Yeah,
That
it's
sounds
like
amazing.
Yeah, it's like turn-based JRPG, sprite work, and the battles take place in a boxing ring, and you're just like these crazy WWE wrestlers that just do these wild moves as their attacks. It looks really cool. The name, I don't have it off the top of my head, but it looks like a really, really cool game. That's the only thing I really saw from that showcase.
Kind of bring it up though, because Xbox, they have these showcases and nobody knows. Nobody
Yep.
pays attention. And I don't know if that's on Xbox, or I feel like it's more on Xbox than on people. But you look at, State of Play, we've talked about it. They have not been very strong the last couple, but at the very least, people still tune in and people know ahead of time and prep for it to come. And Nintendo, of course, the Nintendo Directs, that's always a huge event. But Microsoft, if it's not E3, it's like they don't really promote it and no one really cares. And then it just happens. And then you see like a random article like, oh, here's some cool games. And there's just no one's watching them.
Yeah, it's true. It's like State of Plays don't set the internet on fire like a Direct does, but then Xbox, like there's not even an ember. Like there's just nothing. Nobody, I didn't even know this happened until afterwards. It's like,
It's
well,
it's
okay.
weird. Yeah, I just saw an article. I'm like, oh, okay. There's a couple of interesting games there. Why didn't I know this before? Who knew?
Yeah.
Who knew that this was happening? Xbox, I think, needs to do a better job of building like a cohesive brand for that presentation. That's that to pair it with E3, because I feel like they have these random showcases and you never know exactly what you're going to get, like Xbox at ID or something, indies, I guess. I don't know. Their branding's a little bit weird on the presentations. I think they need a more cohesive branding for those.
Yeah. But let's get to our rumor roundup, which is somewhat related because it harkens back to May 27th of 2021. Of course, if you're unfamiliar, rumor roundup is our kind of weekly segment. We've taken
We've been off for a little bit.
We've been really busy on the show, covering all the latest Sonic Frontiers rumors ahead of its release. Hopefully,
ahead of its release in a year.
We'll see about that. But we're taking a little sidetrack from Sonic Frontiers this week to talk about Sonic Origins, which is all the buzz right now in the Sonic community because of the complete radio silence from Sega on this game. So this game was announced last May 27, 2021 at Sonic Central, which was the Sonic-style Nintendo Direct presentation that Sonic Team put on, where you had some TV show updates, you had some merch announcements, and then you had the first tease of Sonic Frontiers before its official announce at the Game Awards. And then you had this, Sonic Origins, which is another collection. We've had like 15 collections of these games of Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Sonic CD, and Sonic 3 and Knuckles. And this looked like just a quick way to get all these classic games on modern platforms. And here we are nearly a year later, and they have not mentioned it again since they announced it almost a year ago. So basically, the Sonic community right now is just asking, where is this thing? Where is it? So there was a rumor in July of 2021 that the game was still stated to be in the early stages of development, and it's been nothing since then.
And this is a
So
port, right?
this is just a port of
Yep.
these games, and it is developed in-house by Sega. So I guess it's just kind of causing some concern that Sonic Team and Sega isn't able to put anything out on time right now. So they do want to put these games on current hardware without running on an emulator. So it's a little different. They're not really just ports. It is kind of a from the ground up restructuring of these games, but still, these games are not that big. And this was announced a year ago. I'm just really surprised that these have not made it here yet.
Yeah, you would think that if they had any idea that it was going to take near this long, they wouldn't have announced it back then, especially because it
Mhm.
is just retro games. If you're announcing a collection of those, I think most people expect it to be out within like 2 or 3 months, maybe. So
Yeah.
I don't know what they're doing.
My
I don't
cat's
know what they're
screaming. I don't know if
doing,
you
yeah.
guys can hear that. He's
I
freaking
did
out.
hear that. I love cats.
You okay,
shout
dude?
out, shout out to the cat.
He wants to play
Yeah.
Sonic.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Uh,
asking
he
where
does. He's
Origins
really sad
is.
about it. Yeah. But yeah, that's kind of the rumor this week, is that not really a rumor, but we
Yeah,
have
what's the
to get
rumor?
the
That it's not, that it's
PS5 where we
canceled?
can. Yeah, but it is supposed to come out this year. It's supposed to come out in
Lots of things are
2022.
supposed to come out this year from Sonic.
Exactly.
I don't
Yeah.
trust it.
But
It's
I
gonna
do
come
think
out
it's
like the same
cool.
week.
I do
Yeah.
think it's cool that these games are going to run natively, because it's going to make them feel almost like maybe they'll look more like Sonic Mania. Like if these are just going to run on the hardware, they won't look as good because that game is absolutely gorgeous, having come out just a few years ago. But I think of something like Super Mario 64 that did look cleaned up in the 3D All Stars collection. It didn't look as grainy as the original. I think that could be what happens here to these classic Sonic games. So I'll probably play this when it comes out, but it is just
If it
bizarre
comes
to
out.
me. It's just bizarre that there's just nothing on it. And so, yeah, I've seen a lot of people saying, man, we haven't heard about Origins. You really think Frontiers is coming out this year? I don't know. I almost think it'd be cool if they did like a pre-order bonus or like some sort of bundle if these things came out around the same time, like pre-order Sonic Frontiers, get the classic Sonic games on the native hardware. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a
knows?
good idea.
that depends
It'd
on
add
if and when
value
either
to
of these
the-
games come out.
If Frontiers is $60, like previous rumors have said, it'd be a
Yeah.
nice little bonus to get these classic Sonic games in addition, because who knows if that's going to hold up to its value.
It's Sonic, so probably not. But
Probably
Sega,
not.
are they going to give you those games for free? Probably not.
Probably
They'll probably just give
not.
you like a Sonic keychain, or what do they give you in colors? The launch
I
edition.
got the Baby Sonic keychain that is the Baby Sonic before the redesign, because all the merch from
Yeah,
Sonic 1 is before the redesign.
So now we need the Sonic keychain of adult Sonic before the redesign for one of these games. Get on it. I'm sure they have it in a warehouse somewhere.
Yeah, totally.
Gotta. Yeah.
All right, that's Rumor Roundup. That's the news. We've got to get into what we've been playing, which it could be a big week for.
Yeah, so we'll move on to what we've been playing. Definitely not as extensive as last week, where I
Had a
had
lot to catch
beaten,
up on.
like 7 games. Yes, I had a lot to catch up on. But this week, for me personally, has been pretty dominated by Elden Ring. It is the only thing I've been playing, and I am loving the crap out of it. I am about 20-ish hours in, around level 50. I've beaten a handful of bosses. I've explored a ton of different areas. This game is absolutely massive. There is so much to see. I feel like I'm missing a bunch because, there's just like, you come into a room and there's 8 ways out, and all of them are guarded by enemies. You just got to pick one and go. And then you find yourself lost in any place you go. It's absolutely fantastic. The different areas are gorgeous. It's very Souls esque. Every enemy you come across, you don't know whether or not you're gonna be able to beat them. Even the little ones, like you could get surrounded by a horde of 3 tiny guys and they could absolutely annihilate your giant health bar before you even get a chance to attack. So this game definitely feels like a From Software Souls-like game. You're always on edge, but it's always just very exciting. I've fallen in love with this game, and I know, Logan, you are also absolutely loving this game. What are your thoughts so far? I know you're not nearly as far as I am.
Yeah, so I just finished the second required boss, the first shard of the Elden Ring that you get. and he was tough. My God, he was hard. But Zach and I played on the phone together, like I was saying, and it's so cool because we weren't even co-oping that whole time. We for like 2 hours of that, we were off doing our own thing, but still just voice chatting. And it's such a cool game for that because I'll just be doing my own thing, and then you'll hear Zach go like, I can't believe what I'm seeing right now. I can't believe what I just ran into. And it's like, I may never even see that because of how huge this game is. And that's just such a cool concept. And something I've always been, I guess, almost sad that is an experience we never really got is you hear people talk about like the original Legend of Zelda when they were kids and like being on the schoolyard talking about the secrets they found in that game and how that's just something that we never really had because we're just not old enough to have been around when those games originally came out. But this feels like that. This feels like when you hear a story someone tells, it doesn't feel like a spoiler. It feels like a story about their journey of something you should go look for too. Like Zach's like, oh, I got this, and you need to go here to do it. And then once you're here, you need to do this. I'm like, that's so cool. I haven't done that. And then Zach will hop into my world and he'll go take me through it. And we'll do it together. And it's just like super cool. And then I think I mentioned this last week, but what I really love about this game is how you don't feel like the center of attention in the world like you do in so many other games, not even just open world games, but just games in general. Like the main character is like just the center of attention for everybody. In this, it doesn't feel like that. Every NPC you encounter, it feels like they are just living their life, doing their thing, and sometimes you cross paths with them. And there's this the pot guy they rolled out on stage at the Game Awards that was really funny looking. Well, I ran across him and he's like stuck in the ground and you have to like use your heavy attack on his butt to knock him out of this hole that he's stuck in, which is just hilarious. And then he's like, oh, thank you so much. I'm headed off this way. I hope to see you again. And then Zach and I later, like a half hour later, we're just exploring this mine. We open this door and he's just in there. And he's like, oh, hey, what's up? Thanks for saving me again. I'm still heading this way. And it's like, that's just so cool. There was no way to know he was going to be there. He just was. And it's just like super organic feeling. And it's just so much fun. I did the first big dungeon, which kicked my butt. I died so many times in there, but it was still super cool. I mentioned this to Zach when we were playing yesterday. I actually like the bosses more than the generic enemies because it's so frustrating when you just die against a regular soldier. Like when you die against a boss, it's expected. When you just die against this random guard, it's like, oh my God, like why do I keep losing to this guy? But it's still fun, and I'm working on getting a new sword right now because Zach deals way more damage than me, and I'm jealous. So I gotta try and ramp up my damage output. But the exploration in this thing is just so cool, and yeah, I'm still in love with it, and it's pretty much all I'm playing right now. I'm trying to play more Pokemon, but Elden Ring is just stolen all of my attention.
Yeah, I had fully intended to start Mario Odyssey this week.
Wait, what?
But
Did you? You're not joking on that?
I
That was
was
real?
gonna, but I didn't.
I don't believe you.
I did not start it.
I was with
playing
Zach,
Elden Ring.
and he was like, "Okay, I just finished Lost Judgment.
Yep.
Name what I'm gonna play next." And we did this little game where we landed on Odyssey. So he was actually gonna play Odyssey.
I was gonna play it.
All right. Okay. Not anymore.
It didn't happen.
The dream is dead again.
Yep. So now it's just gonna be Elden Ring for the next 6 months, and then I'll play Odyssey.
Yep. Yeah, but it's so cool. And just I got invaded for the first time by a stranger who, when Zach was in my world, and he wrecked us, but then he ran away and I was able to heal enough to survive. And then like 5 minutes later, it was just like, it's like invader felled and it's like blank died. I'm like, what happened to him? Did he just leave or did he like jump off a cliff? I didn't know what happened to him.
Yeah, he just ran in, killed me, and then left Logan, and then just ran away.
Okay.
Like he didn't even know Logan was there.
He never came back for me. Yeah, we also did figure out the multiplayer last week. We mentioned we were having struggles. Turns out Zach had the wrong NAT type on his internet, so it wasn't actually the game's fault.
Which NAT type?
So for some reason, my Wi-Fi was giving me NAT Type 3 on my PS5, which hasn't been an issue.
Because what is it,
so
1,
far.
2, or 3? Or is it just 2
NAT
and
Type
3?
2 is the standard one that you want.
Okay.
I don't know why my Wi-Fi was giving me NAT Type 3 on my PS5
They
because on my
just
PS4 it gave me NAT Type 2.
randomly give them
Yeah.
out, it seems.
So I
It's
had
so
to
bizarre.
swap over to
Yeah.
a LAN cable connection, and then that swapped me back to LAN Type 2, and then we were able to do multiplayer. So not Elden Ring's fault at all. It was on my end. Yep.
Hate the nat types.
But-
It's so
Yeah.
stupid.
I know. It's weird.
Yeah.
Because it's very specifically disrupts some games, and it's so infrequent that you can't really pinpoint the problem until you're like, oh, it's my nat type.
Yeah.
So
Fun times.
And
Yep.
I've seen a lot of people kind of being like, oh, I think Elden Ring is the Souls-like game that anyone will get into. I do not think that is true. I do not think Kevin would like this game. I think he would find
No?
it extremely frustrating. Because like I talk about the games I love, just like trying a boss 30 times in a row, and I have fun doing that. I don't think everyone likes that. So I think that this is just the first one I've fully given a chance. And the open world nature does make it more fun to get into, because it's not like I'm stuck on this and I literally can't do anything else. Like it's this until I'm done with this, is what you hear about like Dark Souls and Bloodborne. But this is like, wow, I can't do it. I'll come back. Like the gold dude riding a horse, the tree sentinel at the start of the world. I still haven't beaten him. I come back and try from time to time, but I can't do it right now, but I don't have to right now. And that's something really cool. But if you don't love failing over and over again, you still won't like this game. So I'm surprised to see 12 million copies is crazy. I do wonder how many people are going to bounce. But you look at the trophy list. I beat a boss 8 hours in. He's pretty tough. You have to be decently leveled up to beat him. 58% of players on PlayStation have beaten that boss. So a lot of people are sticking with
Not
the
bad.
game. That's a pretty high percentage. So yeah,
See how long that lasts.
Yeah, I'm curious
'Cause
to
I'm-
check the trophy
I'm
percentages.
sure that there's a lot of people out there who are just like, all right, Elden Ring seems to be the most talked about game. This is the biggest thing. I got to be a part of it. And then they play it and they're like, whoa, no thanks.
Yeah.
And not for me. But I'll be curious to
And that
see what
was-
those trophies are looking like come,
And that was
you know,
me.
a couple of months.
And I'm kind of wondering, like, man, why did I never get into these before? Like, this is the genre I love. I love these brutally difficult games.
But you tried one. You tried
platform.
Sekiro. And it didn't
Yeah.
click.
Sekiro, I've heard is the hardest of them all. Because it's
okay,
the combat is so fast and so parry based that like it's hard from the start and really never gets easier. Like, so
Okay.
this one, being able to build my character and grind for stats and level up how I want, I think Sekiro is a bad one to start with, based on what I've read. I've never tried any other one, except for I played like 10 minutes of Demon Souls on PS5, but that was just to look at it. I never had the intention of actually playing it, but now I probably
Maybe.
will. Yeah, after Elden Ring, but it's so cool. And yeah, playing it on the phone with Zach was like, man, this is like one of the best games to do this with. Just like hang out and play it together and just talk about the stuff you see, because it's just so cool how different it is. It's not like if we were playing Uncharted 4 together and he's like, whoa, look at that. I'm like, dude, I'm not there yet. It doesn't feel like
Spoiling me.
Yep.
Got to get down to the beach.
Yeah, oh my god, yeah. But it's phenomenal. I'm excited to keep seeing really cool bosses. But I want to talk about Pokemon too, but I want to hear about Kevin's PS5 first.
Yeah. PS5. I'd always been hearing about how, you know, smart delivery on Xbox is great and PlayStation's bringing everything forward can be kind of a pain. But at the very least, at the start, it wasn't actually that bad. I was kind of surprised. I mean, it is a little bit annoying that you have to have everything plugged in at once. You have to have the PS4 in, and you got to have that going, and then you have the PS5. And if you don't have an Ethernet that can reach, it'll take a while. But it did transfer pretty much everything over. Like all of my accounts are over there. All my trophies and stuff are over. I wanted to play Lost Judgment later. The DLC is coming soon, and I wanted to hop back in now that PS5, you know, it runs a lot better on there. And that was a really simple process. It brought over my save, and then I installed Lost Judgment on my PS5, booted it up, and there are my saves.
Was
Now,
it easy to just choose between the PS4 version and the PS5 version of Lost Judgment? So just installing the PS5 version?
Yeah, it just worked as far as I know. Maybe it's just the
I
PS4
hated
version,
that
but
when I owned the physical PS4 version, because I bought it when I had a PS4, and whenever I put in the disc, both versions would show up on my home screen, and that would
weird.
that'd just be
Well,
ugly
only one
for the
version is
two
showing
Lost
up, so maybe I
Judgments.
should check and make sure that it's the PS5 version, not the PS4. But at the very least, all of the content is there, so that's nice. Now, Yakuza Like a Dragon, that thing's stuck on the PS4 because screw me, I guess, and all the people that play that thing on PlayStation. But that was nice that process was relatively simple to get stuff over. So that was good. And then started off with Astro's Playroom, platinum that. That was great. That is
Yeah.
a great
It's a
little
lovely
game.
little game. Yeah.
Like the platforming is great. I love the different worlds. I love the integration of the different parts of the PS5 into all of these different worlds that you're going to explore. The music is surprisingly good. Like
Yeah, it's awesome.
I'm like, like bumping my head to all of these different tracks. I enjoyed the platforming segments. The collection of PlayStation's past was super cool. It's a gorgeous looking game. Yeah, I loved it. And that'll probably be the best use of the DualSense controller in any game.
Yeah, what'd you
And
think of the
it's
DualSense
good.
stuff?
So I've only played Astro's Playroom and Horizon, and it is very noticeable in Astro's Playroom, and I have not noticed it like at all in my time with Horizon. But some of the instances of it I thought were really cool. The ones that stuck out to me was when you're the little spring dude and you're like coiling up and then jumping, like you could actually feel the coil kind of stretching and getting closer in the controller. I was surprised at how close it felt to like actually a spring. So that was super cool. I also liked the effect of walking in the rain, like popping up your umbrella and then you can feel the little raindrops hitting you, and then you walk under something and then it goes away, but you can still hear it. Those are the ones that stuck out the most to me. Of course, you have the triggers as well when you're in the rocket ship, which I think is interesting. I don't think I'd want that all the time, but it's an interesting thing to have to kind of change things up every once in a while. But I'm fully expecting that to be the main extent of my DualSense experience.
You don't notice it on the when you draw an arrow in Horizon, because that's pretty noticeable.
Just Horizon uses arrows. It pretty well.
Yeah.
There's like a tool to light fire, and it feels unique. Like when you're pressing.
I mean, I've only played it for
that kind of feels like
hours, so.
You're actually like doing a flint and steel. Like I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, Logan. Well, you probably
I do. Yeah,
required item. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I'll have to play in some more and see.
Yeah,
see what other
you just
instances
notice it
of
every
it are.
time you hold down the R2, like you feel the bow.
Yeah, I guess.
I thought it was pretty
At some point, it becomes like, oh yeah, that's just what it feels like, and then you kind of.
I guess it never felt like that crazy to me. Maybe it was.
Yeah.
Maybe it was because
really well.
I was playing Astro's Playroom right before it, and those were so much more noticeable that you go into Horizon. I think it's a little bit more subtle, and then when you're a couple hours in, it's just like, well, that's how it goes. But that's a good thing, honestly. I'd rather have it kind of blend into the experience rather than really stick out all the time. I think Astro's Playroom does it really well because it is trying to introduce you to all these mechanics of how the controller works. But I don't think I need that in every single game. So kind of appreciate that it's not front and center and everything. But yeah, I really enjoyed Astro's Playroom. Enjoyed getting the platinum, and I did the speed runs as well to get the last gold trophy, and those were fun. Those were like entirely new platforming segments, so that was a ton of fun. Love that game. Super cute.
So good.
And they didn't even need to do that. They didn't even need to pack that in, but they decided to, and I'm super happy they did because it is a fun little romp. So that was fun.
Did
and
you
then
like
Horizon
PlayStation cameos and like the little like Astrobot cosplaying different PlayStation characters?
Yeah, those were super cute. I didn't know half of them because, I never played PS1, PS2, or much of PS3.
I knew pretty much all of them.
I did recognize some, and they were cute to look out for and try and find in every little nook and cranny of the level. Yeah, they pack in so much fan service in there on top of just it being a solid platformer. And I know when you guys were talking about this a while back, just they need to make more games with Astro. Like,
absolutely.
You've got VR, and you guys have said that's fantastic. They've got Astro's Playroom. It's a great platformer. I think they should do more with him. Like, make a fully fledged game, because that was already so good and just a little bite-sized, 5-6 hour experience. I think they could do a lot more with it, both in and out of VR.
Yeah, so. PSVR 2 is coming, so I'd have to imagine that's probably the next thing we'll see him in. Would be a sequel to Rescue Mission. And then I agree. So. Like, you don't just need to have a game to show off new hardware with him. Like, this could just be a series. I mean, the Japan studio's pretty much been shut down except for Team Astro. So at least the games are great. Like, you might as well use them as much as you can.
And it'd be a nice break from the rest of PlayStation Studios games where it's just Horizon or Ghost or Naughty Dog games where they're all great, but they do feel a little bit similar sometimes. So it'd be nice to have something that that feels a little bit different
Yeah,
in Astro. So
Sackboy too. The
yeah,
Sackboy Big Adventure 2, because that game is incredible.
yeah, I enjoyed Astro's Playroom a lot. I've played some of Horizon. I was curious to see how noticeable it would be swapping between performance and fidelity. And my God, for one, I don't think my TV can fully take advantage of what's on offer
Do you
in
have a
the
4K
fidelity
TV?
mode. No, I do
Okay.
not. But the frame rate was immediately noticeable where I'm like, this is disgusting. Like I started
Uh-huh.
in performance mode. I'm like, oh, this is great. And I was like, all right, I should go back and just test it out and see how it looks in fidelity mode. And just moving the camera around once, I'm like, I'm out. I'm out. This is
Yep.
so slow. It's not smooth. It feels choppy when you're swapping from performance mode. It just does not feel good. So immediately swap back to performance, and that's been great. It runs buttery smooth. I have not had any issues with it, and now I don't think I can go back. The 60 FPS is a
Yeah.
game changer.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Yeah,
much performance mode every time.
and I have a 4K TV, and I even switched to that. And, like, it's not worth it. It's not worth the slightly enhanced visuals to suffer the frame rate to suffer that much. Yeah, if you're not on a 4K TV, the performance and resolution mode, or whatever it's called, performance and fidelity. Fidelity has
fidelity.
no benefit for you if you're not on a 4K TV. Like, it changes nothing. So
It changes the frame
Yeah.
rate
yeah,
Yep,
except
that's
it
it.
changes the
in
frame rate.
not a good way.
Yeah.
And yeah, with most games, you're going to be in motion so much that I feel like performance is just the way to go, because there's not going to be too many moments where you're going to kind of stop and just take a look around your surroundings where fidelity would be at its best. And if you really want that, you could just swap back. You can just go into the menu and swap to fidelity if you want to do some like photo mode or something.
Yeah.
I just, maybe some people are really into like super high fidelity stuff, but I could not could not do that. So the performance mode has been great. And Horizon, it's more of the same, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, because I really enjoyed Zero Dawn on PS4. The world is absolutely gorgeous, like you guys were saying just a couple of weeks ago. The world is breathtaking to look at and explore. The water looks fantastic, and just like swimming through that now, the opening up more areas now with more swimming mechanics. Super pretty. The combat, I haven't gotten super far into it again. It's kind of more of the same, not necessarily a bad thing. It looks like there's a lot more in the way of skill trees. There is a ton of skill tree stuff that I have not delved into yet. I'm only maybe 5 or 6 hours in so far. But yeah, it really is all about the spectacle of fighting the giant mechs. That is what you go to Horizon for. That first big fight that you do was just like, all right, I'm back. This is what I want. This is what I want from the game, and I think it's going to deliver on that front. The story, I also feel what you guys were saying about Aloy. She's kind of annoying sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sometimes it's just she does talk a little bit too much. Like when she'll like walk into town and like walks through her plan out loud to nobody. Like that happens in games. I don't know. Like that happens from time to time. I don't know why, but it just feels noticeable here. We're like, all right, I'm in town now. I should go to the blacksmith, but should I go? Like she's having like a monologue with herself. She's like, but I could do this or I could do this. And it's kind of like kind of weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. And at time, I feel like she's not as likable as she was in the first game. She feels a little bit more high strung. I mean, maybe that's just because the world is ending. I don't know, but
And you've
She's
got
the savior
updated
now.
version.
She's got all the responsibility.
no,
so.
just Aloy.
Yeah.
Just
No.
call me Aloy. Don't call me the savior.
Stop
So I don't
praising
know.
me.
Yeah, she's fine. Kind of weird, but I do really like the world building that they do in these games. I liked it in the original, and I like it here. I like all the different settlements and the factions, and just like going around and talking to these characters. And I was surprised at just how natural some of the interactions feel when you get to the circle that you choose your options. That doesn't feel, like super realistic in terms of the conversation. But when you walk up to somebody before a cutscene and then they start talking just in their mannerisms and how they talk, it's really impressive how human and lifelike it feels sometimes, just with how they move and how they talk and how it feels like it is a human that you're talking to, and not just computer generated sometimes where they move really stiff. Like some of the movements that the characters do just in dialogue is really impressive.
That's something I feel is really improved on this one compared to the first one. Is just those interactions, the kind of camera work is more dynamic in those conversations too. I feel like in the first one it was all just back and forth, headshot, 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 back and forth. But now it's like, oh, they'll like sit down when they're talking, they'll like walk around the table, they'll just do more stuff, which makes the conversations more engaging. That's definitely something I noticed too.
Yeah, so that always makes it fun to go and pick up quests and just to talk to people and get into these cutscenes. I did not.
Oh,
it was at the city and I saw it there and I'm like,
do it.
Maybe later. maybe I'll come back. I kind of want to play the main part of Horizon. I'll give it a try at some point. I do want to see what it's all about, but I did kind of want to delve more into the actual game itself. You got all the side quests, you've got all the different collectibles and things. I can already tell that the inventory system is going to be crazy when it's like, all right, I've got 200 of these branches and some of them are in the stash. And, that was an issue with
in the stash.
Yeah, me too.
I should go to my stash. I'll send this to my stash. So I know that the inventory system is going to be a little bit annoying. But that was how it was in the first game. I feel like this is just more of the same, but looks prettier. And for me, that I don't think I needed that much more than that. Obviously, I haven't played through the game entirely, so I don't know how well it holds up through its full runtime and how all of the side quests and main story holds up. But from what I've played so far, I'm having a good time with it. It's fun.
Yeah, I think overall I ended up liking it a little bit more than the first one.
Now, I still have to get used to the PS5's menus, and I don't know. It's something that you really have to get used to coming from the PS4, because you just build these muscle memories of how to do things. Like, all right, I need to press this once to get back to the home screen. I need to hold it down, and then I can go to the menu to put it into rest mode or to sleep. And now it's like, oh, I need to press it so I have the menu, and then I can go and turn it off or put it into rest mode. But if I hold it down, that's when it takes me to the home screen. It's, that the muscle memory is completely opposite.
It's definitely different. Yep.
I have to get used to that. And then the challenge cards or whatever they are the most pointless things. And it's so frustrating because it makes the trophies harder to find in the menus. Like, I was trying to go for the platinum in Astro, but I had to go back to the main home screen and then go into Astro where, go onto its icon, and that's where the trophies are, and then go there. I'm like, why isn't this here instead of all of these challenges that mean nothing to me? Or be like, oh, you've got this time trial that, you're in the middle of, and like, why are you telling me this? Like, I don't care. Like it takes up so much real estate on the menu too. Like, they're huge and they're pointless. I don't get it. I don't know why they're there. I think that space could be much better used just even for trophies. I think they could integrate the trophies so much better than they do now, just to make it easier to get to them. And then I still haven't figured out, is there a way to go into the menu and close a game, or do I just have to go to the next game and it closes the one automatically?
Yeah, you just hit options on the icon and hit close game. It's there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the same, I think, as the PS4.
Okay. I guess the menus are just in different locations, so I'm still getting used to the menus. Some of it is fine. The challenges, I think, are incredibly dumb and have no real point there. But yeah, I'm enjoying it a lot. Now, the DualSense battery life is not good. It was not a good sign when I plugged it in at the start when I was moving all my data over. And by the time that I was wrapping up my first session, it was like, oh, your battery's low. And I'm like, oh my God, are you serious?
Yeah.
Like, the DualSense features are cool in certain instances, but man, I think I'd rather just take a solid, like 12 to 15 hours of battery life
You could turn
instead
them
of the
off.
5 or 6. Oh, you
You
can.
can turn off all the DualSense features in the menus if you want.
Does it extend battery life?
Oh yeah, totally.
Oh,
If you don't have
great.
that stuff on, it makes your battery life way better. So that's something you
Okay.
could do if you wanted
All right.
to.
Maybe I'll try it out at some point, or maybe selectively decide which things to
Yeah.
keep.
'Cause
That's
I've
nice that
noticed
they
that
give you the ability to do that.
when I played Horizon, it died so fast that I pretty much just played with it plugged in. When I play Elden Ring, which uses 0 DualSense features, it lasts way longer. Like, played 3.5 hours yesterday. I had it unplugged. It worked the whole time. And then I played Horizon for like 2 hours. It's like, oh, you got to plug me in. So yeah, the DualSense stuff, definitely. It's like when you play 3DS with the 3D on, it's like halves your battery life.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very similar.
I mean, I guess that's a cooler feature to drain battery life than, say, the PS4's Lite. They killed the battery life, which was so stupid.
Which I don't think you could turn off. I don't think that you could.
You can make it dimmer.
Yeah.
I dimmed mine as low as it could go, but that only does so much.
Yeah.
So that's nice that they give you the options. I'll have to go look into them a little bit later, so that you can extend your battery life. Because sometimes it is really annoying, and the cord they give you is never long enough at the start. I bought one for my PS4 that is way longer and made it easier, but now they have USB-C, so I'll need to buy another one.
I just use my phone charger for
now. The USB-C, is great.
PS5. Yeah,
that they have that support instead of micro USB nonsense. I'm enjoying it a lot. Just some minor annoyances here and there, but for the most part, I'm enjoying it a lot, and it'll be hard to go back to these games that are 30 FPS on older gens with performance mode. But
I didn't find that when I play games on Switch at 30. I'm like, I don't mind. It's weird, but I care if the game is 30 on PS5, but not if it's 30 on an older console or on Switch. I don't know why it's like that.
Well, I guess
I'm glad it's like that.
Yeah. I'll have to see if it's the same for me. I hope it is, because I don't want these games just like, well, I can't play these anymore. This is unplayable.
Yeah.
But I'd be curious going back to Zero Dawn on PS4 and playing that on a PS4 after playing Forbidden West on PS5 with how they run. Like, ooh, that would feel weird. So
you can play Ghost of Tsushima now.
I can.
I can't wait.
It's on the list, but I'm playing Forbidden West now, and Rune Factory and Kirby are out in a week. The Lost Judgment DLC is 3 days after
Mario
Kirby.
Kart's out tomorrow.
Mario Kart's out. I have no idea when I'm getting to any of these other games.
Yeah.
But we'll find some time. Yeah. It was not the greatest timing, but I'm glad nonetheless. I'm glad that the saga is over and I don't have to deal with Amazon's nonsense of being out of stock by the time it's finally in stock and doing endless lotteries. It's nice to finally be done and just be like, oh, if there's a game that I want that's coming out, like Saints Row this summer, I want to play it, at higher frame rates, and it'll just be like, well, I can buy it on PS5 and it'll be all good. It's nice to just have that and not be wondering when you'll actually get the chance to pick one up. So
yeah. Totally.
Also, it's huge. The thing takes up a lot of space, and the box also takes up a lot of space. Thing is massive. It was interesting. It just felt weird carrying it out of the store when the guy gave it to me. I'm just like, I'm just like carrying this massive box outside. But it was nice. It was a relief to finally pick one up.
Ooh, yeah, it's awesome. You gonna be my Returnal co-op partner now?
Oh God.
Come on.
You want me to buy another game? Good God.
No, at some point.
Drop the money.
Play Returnal with me. I want to play it in co-op now that it has Zach doesn't want to play it.
That's going to be a while from now, because there's Ghost is high up on the list. I want to play Ratchet and Clank. Want to play Sackboy at some point.
Oh yeah.
But then then there's all these other Switch games that are coming out too. Miles Morales as well. There are so many games that I've got to catch up on and that are coming out. So
yep.
Yeah, I don't know when I'm getting to a lot of these, but I'll try. But
can I talk about Pokemon?
Oh yeah, you want to talk about Pokemon for a bit?
Yeah. So I've been I've been like dabbling in it the last few weeks. I've only played for like 7 hours of this Pokemon Legends Arceus, which I did end up picking up. And it's really cool. It kind of does fulfill, I think, kind of the childhood dream you had. Like if you just dreamed about running around and throwing Pokeballs at Pokemon and interacting with them in new ways. I really love the core gameplay. It is super fun to craft stuff in the city. You craft your Pokeballs, craft your heavy balls are the only two types I have right now. And heavy balls you can barely throw. Like you throw them like 5 feet and then they hit the ground. But they're much more effective at catching Pokemon that are unaware that you're there. So if you're good at stealthing up behind them, you can like throw a heavy ball at them and you're more likely to catch them than if you just throw a Pokeball at them. So it is super fun just stealthing around and catching a bunch of different Pokemon. The Pokedex entries are super fun to fill out. Like there's different challenges for every species of Pokemon to catch, where if you want to get to research level 10, which 100% completion of the game is catching every Pokemon and getting to research level 10 on their Pokedex. It's a tall order. My sister did it. She played the game for like 90 hours. So it's pretty hefty to do this. And some of it's like, oh, you need to catch this many of this species. Some it's like, you need to catch this many that don't know you're there. Some are like, you need to see it use aerial ace 10 times in battle. You need to defeat this many in battle. And it's a different collection of missions for every different Pokemon. And it's super fun to like go and fill those out and level up your sheet and just kind of explore these wide open areas. It's super cool and I think really promising for a future entry, because this one does have a lot of problems to me. It is ugly. It does not look good. It does not run well and it does not look good. I'm running around and I'm playing on the TV and I'm like, man, I don't want to play on the TV because it looks better in handheld because it just looks bad on the television screen, which is a shame. But yeah, it doesn't look that great and it doesn't run that well. And then my other big problem is the story is bad and constant. They talk to you all the time in this game with really simple dialogue about this story. There's a little more mystery to it than there usually is to a Pokemon game. So I think that the story is more fleshed out, closer to like a mystery dungeon than to a mainline game, but not as good as a mystery dungeon story. But there's just too much of it where all I want to do is get out into these open areas and catch Pokemon and be left alone. They are constantly talking to me and telling me what to do, which I've heard gets better later on in the game. I'm still in the intro, and it is this totally new genre of Pokemon, so I get that they're trying to really hold your hand to tell you how it works, because this is a kid's game at the end of the day. So it makes sense, but I'm excited to get a little further to where I can kind of chart my own missions and decide what I'm going to do. But the battles are hard. I'm like really happy to say it. The fights are difficult. Like there's these alpha Pokemon that have red eyes and are giant that are roaming around the world. And if you get caught up with one of them, good luck, because it's probably going to wipe half your party before you take it down. Like they're tough fights. I did the first boss fight where if you've seen any promos for this game, it's like you're dodge rolling around the monster and you're throwing like balls of food at it. So you're like just throwing stuff at it and then dodge rolling out of the way. And then if you can get it to roll like into a tree or into the wall of the arena, it launches a turn-based Pokemon battle. So if you stun it, you can then throw one of your Pokemon at it and it goes into a battle. And those battles are hard too. And if you win that battle, then that Pokemon is weakened and the food you throw at it for the next like 10 seconds does more damage. So it's pretty cool. There's the strong and agile style thing too, where you can choose to be slower but increase the power of your move, or be faster but decrease the power of your move. And it is a new layer to turn-based Pokemon battle that I think it is needed to just kind of spice it up a little bit. And it's super cool to strategize this way. You're like, man, my Pokemon's almost dead. Guess I'm just going to go for it with one more strong attack before he dies, because he's not getting another turn anyways. So just like kind of using your party like that. And it's the first time ever where I feel like you have to have multiple Pokemon in your party that are a good level. Like even in the originals, you can just steamroll with one Pokemon if you level them up enough and never lose. Like I think a lot of us played that way when we were kids. You just have your starter who's like level 100 and he just wins everything.
Yeah.
But in this, it doesn't work like that because the fights are legitimately difficult. And that's just something I've been wanting for a very long time. So I'm actually really happy with it. I think it's the best Pokemon game since like Heart Gold, Soul Silver, or Black and White, because I know people like those too, but easily since Gen 5, it is the best Pokemon has been. since it jumped to the 3DS and beyond. And that was almost 10 years ago. X and Y was 2013. So
Oof.
it is the happiest I've been with a mainline Pokemon game in a really long time. So yeah, it's super cool. And just swapping between your Pokeballs and Pokemon in the open world. Like you see a Pokemon running around that you can't catch without battling it, and you just whip out a Pokeball and you throw your Pokemon at it, and it just seamlessly starts the battle. There's no like wipe screen like where it goes to black and then the battle starts, or you see like the grass pop up and then the battle starts. It's like you throw your Pokemon out, you are in battle. You never leave this open world look. It is super cool, and it really does feel like an evolution of the series, which I was hesitant about, but they pulled off something cool, which is why it's a shame to hear that Scarlet and Violet seem to be going back to traditional battle and catching mechanics. Why? Why are you doing that?
Well, they seem very comfortable to launch these within a year of each other, so presumably they could just keep 2 series going. Now,
yeah.
What that means for a possible sequel's graphical quality, if they don't really give it any extra time, remains to be seen. But I could see them being separate series while feeding off each other in certain aspects.
Or maybe it's not till Gen 10 where we finally see the Legends gameplay incorporated into the main line, since Scarlet and Violet have already been in development for like probably 3 to 4 years. So maybe that's it. But it's really cool. If it's like ever on sale for like 30 or 40 bucks, which who knows because it's Pokemon, I'd recommend you guys trying it out, because it's really great. It is fun to experience Pokemon in a new way. It's fun to have a little bit of challenge in this series again. That, I mean, you guys even said like the Elite Four was a little tougher in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl.
Yeah,
like,
it was.
It's nice to see, like, God, Sun and Moon is just a joke. Sword and Shield is an absolute joke difficulty-wise. So it is fun to have just a little more challenge back, that they kind of trust their audience a little more to figure out how to win these battles. So I really like it. I'm still only in the first area, but it's really fun to roam around and just catch Pokemon. It's a very chill experience compared to Elden Ring, which is extremely
different.
So yeah, I really like it. It's got its problems, but it turned out a lot better than I thought it was going to, based on some of the pre-release stuff I was seeing. But it's cool. It's a cool game.
Yeah, I want to keep an eye out for it. If it comes down to a decent price, I want to pick it up. We'll see if that ever happens.
But it's a shame is my physical copy is like, it's like kind of jacked up a little bit, and it's not something I could just swap out with a case that I care about less, because like the top left corner of the box got bent in transit, and it like permanently wrinkled the cover. And it's like, dang, that sucks.
But the package wasn't destroyed.
No. But speaking of that, I got an update to that.
Really? I didn't know there was an update. Yeah, let's get into the O2. So we've been planning this for a little while, but the last couple of weeks have been so busy with news and things that we didn't have time to get to it. But a couple weeks back, we talked about how Nintendo was shutting down the 3DS and Wii U eShops as Zach gets prepared over there. So when we heard about that, it's like, all right, all hands on deck. Both digital and physical games, you got to get on it now, because they're going to get more expensive, and their games are already getting more expensive than they were even just a couple of weeks ago. So we thought we'd take a look at some of the stuff we picked up, as well as any stuff that you're still on the lookout for. Zach, have you really picked up anything besides all my games?
I bought Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate digitally on 3DS.
All right. Nice.
For $5.
And you got Triforce Heroes again.
I did, but I was going to buy that anyways. Yeah, I bought a second copy of Triforce Heroes for my buddy Logan, and me and my friend are going to play it together, because apparently playing it with 3 people is the only way that game is enjoyable. So
wow,
that is how we're going to do it.
It's an investment. 3 copies.
And your Game Boy Color, your Game Boy game. I don't know if you talked about that one either.
Oh, what is it? Donkey Kong Land 2?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
I bought Donkey Kong Land 2.
Specifically the second one. Is the second one like a really good one? Oh, all right.
So I was like, ooh, I own the first one. I might as well
buy
the second one for a little more than I was comfortable paying. It was like $13.
That was digitally, physically? That's physically?
It was at a pawn shop.
We went pawn hopping when I visited Logan, and I bought a loose copy of Triforce Heroes, because I already owned the case for my copy. I bought the Game Boy Color Donkey Kong Land 2, and then I bought Loose Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon for DS for like 35-ish dollars, which was a pretty good deal.
It's a deal.
Yeah.
Those are always really expensive. You can keep a lookout for a case. Maybe you'll get lucky on one.
I bought one. I ordered one.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I
how
made
much
an
was that?
offer to a guy on eBay. I wasn't expecting him to take it, but he did. It was
Awesome.
like $30. So all in, it was like under 70, and that game's going for like
It's like
100.
90. Yeah, 90,
90 to
100.
Any way that you can save some cash. Logan, what have you been picking up 3DS Wii U front?
Yeah, so some weird stuff. I already talked about Mario Sports Superstars
Yeah.
and Luigi's Mansion Remake, which I already showed off. I got those. And then I believe I've secured a copy of Ever Oasis.
I'm curious about this because I've been
Okay,
looking,
this is a
and
story.
eBay is $100 or more for basically any copy.
So here's what I'm doing. I have it's not a sure thing yet. It has a lot of moving parts, but basically, I found this person on Facebook Marketplace who is selling Ever Oasis along with a 2DS. They're selling their 2DS XL with Ever Oasis and Fire Emblem Warriors on 3DS, and they're selling it for $200. And I'm like,
that's a deal if you didn't have any of those. Like, yeah.
So I am gonna buy that for $200. It's on the other side of the state, so my friend is driving down on Saturday to pick it up for me in Olympia because he's actually going to visit a friend down there on Saturday, anyways. So he's gonna pick that up, and then I'm gonna remove the games and then try and flip the 3DS for I don't know how much those are going for. They're going for like 150,
2DS,
160. Yeah,
a
2DS XL.
That's the new. That's
the newest one. That's
yeah, because they didn't. Thing. Okay, yeah. I feel like if it's in good condition, you could probably get 150, maybe even 200 for it if it's in good if it's in good shape.
So I'm gonna flip. I'm gonna resell that and then have a cheap copy of Ever Oasis. So there it is.
What about Fire Emblem? Do you already own that?
I don't have that, so I'll just keep it.
So you're
whatever.
just gonna keep that. Nice.
All right.
Yeah. So that's how I'm doing that.
That is a deal.
Yeah. Sometime I don't know. Feel a little cheap about it. Sometimes when I see these, I'm like, should someone tell them that they're selling something way below what it's worth and could make more money? I don't know. It's a dilemma.
Kind of take advantage, like.
Yeah.
They're
still making $200 for something they don't want.
Sometimes people sell things cheaper just to unload it faster. Yeah. So maybe they do know. But
some people don't want to deal with trying to haggle with people, and it's just like, well, I can sell it for this and make a profit or whatever. Yeah, I a couple of years ago picking up Awakening for $15, like Star Fox and all these other games. So, it's half finding the right people and it's half the right timing. So,
yep.
Anything on the digital front for either console?
Let's see. Not yet. On Wii U, I was looking at the shop, but I have not bought anything yet. I was just going through and downloading some of the free things that I hadn't gotten yet, but I did get some other things. I don't think I showed this yet. I don't think I showed off my Circle Pad Pro that I found at a Game World here in town for $8. And I was like, yeah, why not? I've always been very curious about this. This is what added the second Circle Pad to the original 3DS model for games like Metal Gear Solid Remake on 3DS, Monster Hunter, which I also did end up getting a physical copy of Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. I found that on Facebook for pretty cheap. So I'm going to play that on my old 3DS with this, which I'm excited about. This box is a little beat up, but whatever. It's a physical copy with all the inserts, which is really nice.
Nice.
And then when we went to the pawn shops, I found a cheap copy of Twilight Princess, the Nintendo Selects version. So I was like, okay, I'll buy this, and then I will grab a box of the original copy on eBay. And then I found a box only, no game listing that actually came with a disc, even though it wasn't supposed to.
Nice little surprise. The man just forgot.
Yeah. So, and now Zach just got a free copy of Twilight Princess on Wii. So
let's go.
On his favorite console.
Yeah, his favorite. So that was a nice little surprise. And then the big update. The big update on the destroyed game is I had to jump through some hoops, but I finally got a refund.
How long ago was this? Oh, it was just the refund. How long ago was this again?
It was in July. So 8 months ago.
Okay.
I finally got a refund for, I was just too lazy to do it, for Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, the physical copy. And then I grabbed a new one on Amazon. It was actually $10 off. So I got
Good
saved a
deal.
little bit of money. Finally have my physical copy.
Well, it doesn't
of
look
the
destroyed.
Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. It is not destroyed. It is still in the wrap. I'm considering just keeping it in that for a while because
Well,
I
I
have it
mean,
digitally.
yeah.
So yeah, but this box art is awesome. So happy to finally have it physically. I just was getting paranoid. I'm like, man, these Ace Attorney games are skyrocketing in price. Like Late in Ace Attorney is so expensive.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
I gotta do it now.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are my pickups.
I just think it's so funny. It's like it was destroyed. Like what happened? Like someone like blow it up in the
they
truck?
need an explanation part for that.
Want to see the story behind it. All right, now for me, I'm poor now. Let's go through. Zach's got all of my games. There's Smash for 3DS. There's one game. It was like 10, 15 bucks on Amazon. So I'm like, all right, on eBay. So I was like, all right, I'll pick that up. We've got Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. It's the only Luigi's Mansion game that I haven't played out of the 3. I played the original on GameCube and the third one, so I'm curious about that. What do we got next, Zach? We've got Ocarina of Time 3D. It was also pretty cheap, like 20 bucks and Ocarina of Time. I've heard that the 3DS version of it's pretty good. So
that's how I played it, and I liked it.
So looking forward to that. Another Zelda game from a non-Zelda fan, Link Between Worlds. Another one that I've heard is very good.
I'm gonna play this.
Feel free. Wanted to check that out at some point, and nice to have it in the collection. Now all of my Mario and Luigi games, quality notwithstanding on some of these. We've got Mario and Luigi Dream Team, the one where you go on Luigi's head. We got Paper Jam. Oh boy, that one's probably not very good, but
I'm gonna play that.
But I'm curious about it.
I thought these were the same game originally.
They look
really so similar.
So yeah, Logan was talking to me the other day. He was like, so Mario looks exactly the same. He has like
it's literally copy paste. It's literally
and only Luigi changes. Yeah, which hold up, what is it? Dream Team and
Dream Team and Paper Jam.
Paper Jam?
Yeah.
If you're watching the video version.
Mario
he is exactly the same. And I think in one of the other cases, he's in the exact same pose and his eyes are just like
slightly different.
And then Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga plus Bowser's Minions. I'm actually very excited to play that one. The other ones like Dream Team, I'm like, I've heard it's okay. And Paper Jam's like, but Superstar Saga, I've heard is very good. So I'm excited about those.
First 3 are good. And then they fell off a cliff.
And then Alpha Dream died.
Gosh.
So yeah, I kind of went a little bit hard on that. Those were basically all the games that I could get at or below MSRP. Superstar Saga was the only one I went a little bit over on with shipping and tax, but that was still under 50 for those. Now all the other ones that I want to get are just stupid. So it's like, unless I get really lucky, I'll probably just have to pick up a digital copy before the shop closes down. Also, I've got a new 3DS XL, not with me, but Logan's got it. Logan's got my new 3DS XL.
I'm storing it in my desk.
So whenever I get back stateside, I'll have a new 3DS to play stuff on, which is exciting. I'm very excited to try out the new 3D. Looks like in very good shape.
Immaculate condition.
Yeah.
The only thing I was saying is the shoulder buttons are a little sticky, but still pressed down nicely. Oh, those are actually getting better. Those are starting to get a little better.
They unsticked.
Yep.
Just had to remove it from the previous owner.
I feel like it hasn't been in use for years, so I feel like it was just sitting there. And
all right.
So, and I just sometimes I'm like, I work them a little bit, trying to get them in good shape for you. But yeah, the new 3DS XL is nice. This is the only 3DS model I don't have, I think, at this point. Oh, and the Wedge 2DS I also forgot.
You had a chance. You had your chance for $50.
But yeah, the stylus is pretty girthy, which I didn't expect.
Yeah.
Like it's thicker than
but it's not which one had the fountain pen? Is that the DSi?
The 3DS.
Or that one's the one that's 3DS. Like long.
Yeah.
There was one that was like really fat or something. I don't know.
Is
that a DSi or something? I don't know.
DSi XL. It's the DSi XL that has the huge one. Yeah, I really like the new 3DS XL design. I just don't like the glossiness. It's really glossy, so it's kind of a fingerprint magnet. But
don't I have to like take off the back to get the SD card?
You do, yeah. You have to unscrew these tiny 2 screws, and then there's like little divots on the side too that you just have to like crack off. And I heard the sound is very terrifying when you do that. It's different. It's because the small new 3DS has the changeable faceplate, so that's why they stored the SD card internally. But then for the XL, they're just like, sorry, you just gotta
Oh.
rip it open. Yeah, which I think is kind of weird. But the colored buttons are really nice too. It has the Famicom colors and the lettering.
Little nub.
Yeah, little nub. Yeah,
So yeah.
it's a really nice machine.
I'm excited to check that out and to check out the new 3D because the original 3DS models, the 3D was not very good. If you moved at all, it would disappear. So I'm excited to try one out that actually tracks your eyes. Speaking of the SD card, so I bought the 3 Ace Attorney games that are available digitally on 3DS because they were all on sale. PSA, if you're looking out for those, they are the cheapest they've ever been. $5 for each one. So
$5.
The DLC cases are more expensive than the actual game.
Because I bought them and I still haven't played them, and I bought them like a month or two ago.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of concerned for a second that they weren't gonna do it again, but I'm glad that Capcom went in. Not only just for Ace Attorney, but some Monster Hunter games, Resident Evil games are all super cheap, kind of just a blowout sale. I'm really hoping that somebody else beyond Capcom will remember that the 3DS exists and kind of discount some games. But I tried to download one, and it's like full storage on the first one that I try and download. I'm like, oh, okay. So I like pop open my SD card, and it's 2 gigs. The little dinky 2 gigabyte SD card. Yeah, I think that was the OG because I remember getting a new 3DS or 3DS XL after my original and bringing over the 2 gigabyte SD card from the original.
With a 4 gig. Why didn't you just transfer?
I don't know. I don't know where the 4 gigabyte went. Either way, I was like, well, this is ridiculous. So I was like, hey, I have 128 gigabyte that I just removed from my Switch because I upgraded to like a 512 or whatever. I'll do that. And then I look up online. It's like, oh, you gotta jump through some hoops because you have to like reformat it. But I reformatted it. It was kind of a pain. A couple of times I inserted it and it didn't work. But now I have 128 gigabytes.
So do you have like the micro SD in an SD converter and then in the slot?
Yeah. So when you buy the micro SD card, it usually comes with one of the like bigger SD cards that you can slot in. So yeah. So now I have maximum space that I probably won't ever use. But I picked up all the Ace Attorney games and they all fit. Picked up some of the DLC as well, the DLC cases. So
you grabbed Apollo Justice also?
Yes.
Sweet.
Yep. Got to get all of them because they're going to disappear. Really hard to find.
Yeah.
So yeah, I am out of a lot of money after all of that and the PS5. Drop some cash. Any other stuff that you're on the lookout for now? I think for me, unless I get really lucky, I'm probably going to be done on physical and maybe like the Dragon Quest games, Ever Oasis, depending on how expensive they get, might just get them digitally. But anything else for you guys?
Maybe some other first party stuff. That weird random Pikmin and Metroid games. I'm still on the lookout for for no reason.
What, Federation Force and
Hey Pikmin?
Hey
Not
Pikmin.
Good games, but I want them for posterity.
Zach, anything from you, or are you pretty well set over there?
Yeah, I think I might keep an eye on digital sales. Like you said, Dragon Quest and Ever Oasis, I'm probably never going to buy physically at those prices. So yeah, might keep an eye on the digital store.
Yeah, running out of time. May is the last month to pay for things with a credit card. Remember, if you haven't already, to merge your wallets so that you can add funds to your Switch eShop account, and then you can carry it over to the 3DS as well. But running out of time, I should get on that. And yeah, if you're interested in any Capcom stuff, hop on the eShop now and pick some of them up because they are really cheap, and you don't know how many more of these they're going to be doing for the sales. So
yeah,
take advantage while you can, because you don't want to be 5 years down the line and everything is like $300 and you regret it like the GameCube is now, and it's already gotten bad. So yeah. Any final thoughts before we wrap up? I think we have reached the end.
Tunic. I'm going to play Tunic this weekend. I'm going to try it. It's out. It is getting great reviews. I've been looking forward
people
to
seem
this
to
one
like
for a long time. And I'm not going to probably dedicate too much time to it right now because I'm busy with 2 enormous games, but I want to talk about it on the show next week. And Mario Kart. I can't wait. We're here. It's so exciting.
Zach?
I also bought the Mario Kart DLC, so I'm all in on Mario Kart. Apparently, I spent like $85.
Nice.
I need to get in on that. I haven't bought the DLC yet. I've been busy with my PS5. I'll have to boot it up and have a reason to hop back into Mario Kart with all the new tracks.
Yeah.
That'll be exciting. Have to play some online sometime.
Yeah.
On some of the new tracks. But that is going to do it for us on this week's episode of Ode to Games. We're here on Thursdays or Fridays, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, odegames.com, any other podcast streaming services that you may use. YouTube has the video version of the podcast every week as well. You can see my copy of SimCity Creator. I got some random Farming Simulator 18. With my new 3DS XL got some rando titles, so I'm really looking forward to playing Deal or No Deal on Nintendo DS. That will be my favorite. Anyways, video version, if you want to see all my garbage games that I got, that's on YouTube at Ode to Games, or on Twitter at Ode to Games. You can send an email to odegamescast@gmail.com. For Logan and Zach, I'm Kevin. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll catch you next week.